really be giving us the technical part of the game and really breaking down the play today. It's none other than Nigel Linton, as we say. Good evening and welcome to you, Nigel.
Good evening, Millie. It's a pleasure to be with you guys this afternoon. Just taking a look at a very interesting matchup this afternoon. We have the league leaders, Superstars, taking on Little Soldiers. And we know from the previous games, Superstars have walked away with some dominant performances, scoring double digits in each of the last two games, whereas Soldiers coming fresh off a 1-0 victory over Diamond Queens. We know Little Soldiers have been known for their defensive presence and a very difficult team to break down defensively, with the most prolific goal scoring team at this point in time in this tournament. Is going to be a very interesting matchup. So we could see we have the Superstars kicking from left to right on your screen. For those of you who are familiar with us, so the Little Soldiers will be defending the southern end, which we could consider the James Ronald Webster Park end, and the Superstars will be defending the AFA Suites or the Campus B end. So, Millie, how do you feel about the game today?
Well, it's a game that I have long been looking forward to, and one would feel that the stars who has been shining so far, even in beautiful sunshine, the stars have been shining, and we have no doubt that the Superstars will be a little too much for Little Soldiers to handle. But again, one of the more prolific defensive team we have seen is the Little Soldiers. One would wait and see, as we see Trevor Rose watches his watch, and it's going to be Superstars who's going to get us running today. All the teams for you, we're going to get run through the start as we get the whistle. For the Superstars, we have the starters. We have Ben Nasser, and that is number, for Little Soldier, sorry. Ben Nasser is number 40. Number 22, Carty, Anisha Carty. Number 2, Daniel Connor. Number 8 is Camille Gums. Number 10 is Lamar Harrigan. And number 23 is Zelia Harrigan. Number 1 in the goal is Davia Hodge. Number 24 is Jamaica Hughes. Number 6 is Shamika Lake. That's in on the field though.
Well, Millie, what I could tell you is I've seen some very interesting observation very early. The Superstars are lining up in a 3-5-2, and Little Soldiers looking to play a 4-2-3-1. Yeah. And it's interesting to see how that matchup will go. And the Superstars breaking down the right-hand side. Sequoia Watley. Watley takes on a man nicely. Gets the ball across, but only as far as Daniel. And Daniel clears. Daniel looking to break. Soldiers looking to come out very, very aggressively, Milling. What do you think of what you have seen so far?
Well, so far, Soldiers, it looked to really, but here comes a dangerous Kalia. Jansu shot at goal, and off the crossbar, and good keeping there. That was a good shot, good keeping there, and the crossbar kept it out, and the defense was right on their doorstep to clear the ball. Very brilliant walk there again. Here comes Kalia. Davia. Oh, watch it goes wide upright on that occasion. But pressure is on.
Yep, very, very good save by Davia. Davia is basically showing her experience as the most senior goalkeeper in this tournament. Former national goalkeeper, now national goalkeeping coach for the female division. But there's something that for me, the matchup in the midfield looks like early dominance for Superstars.
Indeed. Good long searching ball. The ball played to the left flank in search of number 25, which is the person of
Smiley.
That's Mercedes Hodge. It's a ball that is gone out of touch, and it's going to be a throw-in.
So we have a throw into Little Soldiers, and you could see very early that Superstars is looking to continue what they have started so far, getting on the scoreboard.
Here
very
is
early.
Kalia.
Kalia
Here is
gets
Kalia.
This is the third time she has gotten through so easily for the afternoon. Walking that half space very easily. And I think for a senior defender like Anisha, I think she's selling herself on a lot of those defensive plays.
Yes, she's getting pulled. She's getting beaten very, very easily. And Kalia, you know, one would hope that she will take an extra touch because she has the ability to shoot from far, but she can really take an extra touch and walk closer to that goal. And I guess the pressure of the quality of the goalkeeper is getting to her.
Yep, I'm telling you, something I'm observing very early is how far the centre backs for Little Soldiers are coming across to the left hand side. So if Kalia gets in, there's actually no cover. They actually play in a straight line, which is dangerous because you beat one in a straight line, you beat all. So they need to be more communication among them in terms of who would pressure, who would cover, in terms of getting the job done.
Yes, it's good defensive work call on Carty getting this one. It's going to be a throw into the Soldiers. All good build up here, good football. So far, the pressure has been sustained by the Stars, Superstars. Have not once seen the ball. Look at where the goalkeeper is liming. She's liming way outside. She's liming outside her 18-yard box.
Yep, but very interesting in the. Just realized, Millington, it's actually a new centre back pairing for the Soldiers.
Yes.
And
you're not seeing Leverett.
Leverett is absent today.
Yes.
So you could early see that her presence is already missed. So it's Superstars looking to mount another attack, looking to get that ball through. And Kalia is through once again. Let's see if she make amends this time. She's through. She has space. She plays off to Alanis and a shot.
It's a goal! It's a goal! In the 6 minutes of play, very calm, very collective, and Alanis Hodge just place it over the top of the goalkeeper and into the back of the net. Superstar scores in the 6 minutes of play. It's 1-0.
And you realize Davia is very frustrated. If you check the replay, you'll realize that the ball deflected off a defender at the last moment.
Well, in the 6 minutes of play, not off the boot of Colleen, not off the boot of Kalia, but it is Alanis Hodge.
But brilliant play once again by Kalia Johnson. Taking on the defense, sucking them in, and just laying it off to our open players for a fine finish.
Restart. Well,
Camille, looking the break. Looks to find striker, but ball intercepted nicely by Superstar. Superstar's looking to build from the back very calmly. Sharania, poor pass with no pressure on her. She just couldn't find Watley, who was looking to break. So it's a throw into Little Soldiers with Superstars winning it easily, trying to build. But ball goes out of touch for throwing for Superstars. And still in possession, Superstars. Looking to build again. Looking to build. But ball won nicely by Little Soldiers. Little Soldiers looking to build. And it's Harrigan. Harrigan, but intercepted by Shadow. Plays out to Trashana out wide on the left-hand side. Brown. Played well by Daniel. Brown. Back to Sharania. Sharania comes wide. Once again, trying to connect with Watley, but the ball goes out of touch. And it's Little Soldiers looking the bail, but Sharania into Colleen. Colleen with time and space to pick a pass however way she wants. She overhits over the top, straight to Davia. And Little Soldiers has an opportunity to build. Davia decides to go long. Only as far as a Smiley. A Smiley looking to break. And loses the ball to Superstars. Superstars looking to build through. Colin. Colin looks to find Kalia. Touch. A little bit too hard. Pass was a little bit softer, Millington. Would have been Kalia on goal once again.
Yes, indeed. It was a touch too heavy for Kalia to run on too. She had the space to run, but the ball was way ahead of her. And in the end, luckily for Little Soldiers, that they didn't have to suffer the fate of Kalia Johnson there.
So, is Remisha on the field?
Well, what I'm noticing is that she's not, and that's why we have Edmund, number 23, striking for just noticing that it's Edmund.
Yes, Edmund and Kalia
because Pauline was mastering the midfield. Here comes Watley. Confronted there, looks for Kalia. Kalia gets the ball. Kalia! Oh! The experience of Carty walking out there.
Yep.
Call on to Claire again. It is going to be Brong. Ball onto goal, strike there. Poor shot. A very simple one. It's gone to trouble Davia. And it remains 1-0 in the 10th minute of play.
But what's noticeable for me, now that we have already looked and the game has settled, there is the absentee of Leverett and also Remisha. And those are two key players for Little Soldiers all season long. And looking at the team, they have their experience in a crucial game against the league leaders, who is for me deeply missed. Not sure for whatever reason they are not present today. But a Little Soldiers team without Leverett and Richardson is a big ask against the most dangerous or the most prolific goal-scoring team. So it's on the left-hand side, it's Superstars looking to build, trying to find Ed mid early. But ball is won by Soldiers, but given away cheaply to Colin. Colin finds Brown. Brown to Alanis. Alanis looks to find Carter, but it's intercepted, and it's Harrigan. Harrigan looking to break. Looking to get past Trashana. Defending nicely, and she turns. Tries to find Carter, but ball goes off of Carter and goes out for a throw-in. What do you think about the game so far, Millington?
Well, so far so good. What we expected, that the Soldiers would come up trumps and look to defend strongly. And we have known them as one of the better defensive team. But the quality of Superstars, it's been a little too much, but the inexperience of or the absence of Leverett has really tell there. As here comes Watley. She's looking for help. She's going to find it in end mid. It is Alanis who picks it up. Hits it wide to Carter. Carter looks up. Carter, cannot get it wrong. The big defender there. Experience of Carter. There's too much for Carter, and in the end the ball been knocked out of touch. Throwing. It's Johnson or Kalia who didn't control, but it's with Brong. Brong is not touching it too heavy. And here comes, and that was Mercedes Hodge looking to make a run. And she just touched the ball a little too heavy. And Smins was right there. Well, There's a flag, and that goes for handball. Or it's it offside, offside. It wasn't indeed an handball. Here is Carty. Anisha knocks it downfield. Here it comes. And that's going. That's a foul. It's a foul there going against the Superstar. And it's going to be a free kick. It is going to be Carty. Anisha Carty, who's going to take this free kick. It's way out. Is she going to go for goal? She can pong the ball. She can pong it very hard. But is she going to go for goal from this distance? Carty. And she does. Goes for goal! Oh! Well. She went for goal. And the keeper didn't handle it well, but in the end it stays out and it goes for a corner kick. Well, she does her job. Her job is to keep it from the back of her net. And even though she didn't handle it well, it stays out.
Well, Millington, I could tell you one of the most dangerous things about Little Soldiers is that if you give them any free kicks in the offensive third and Carty steps up, she could hit. You realize from how far out she was, and she troubled the keeper. So that is something that Superstars have to be mindful of in terms of the defensive duties, not to give away Little Soldiers any easy free kicks in any range where they could give you some form of trouble.
It's going to be a corner kick. First of the game. Ball into the attacking third. It's cleared by Kalia. She has a long way to run, but she gets the wrong corner. She gets the wrong Mercedes out. She's still with the ball. She gives it to Sims. Sims with the ball. Long ball forward to Watley. Is Watley going to get this one? No, it's been knocked out of touch by Wilson, and it's going to be throw-in. Throw-in to Superstars. Here is Kali again. Oh, Carty will not be sucked in at all by her. And she stopped her very effectively. And Nigel, we continue to be faced with this a problem in the commentary area where we are, numbers and names and no numbers. And sometimes, it becomes very frustrating. It's becoming very frustrating when you're looking on a team sheet and the play, there is either no number to the play.
Look on. As was looking to get a quick play in. But they went against it. Good long corner. Realized no heads went up for Little Soldiers. And the ball is still bobbling in the box to Colin. And a shot comes in. This is something that bothers me, Millington. I looked at it last night. I've looked at it for the few weekends, and I'll come back to your matter very shortly. I looked at it, and teams are taking corner kicks, and the defensive teams are just standing in the box. Nobody's contesting that ball.
Yes, indeed. And you notice bosses were just looking around because the ball fell there and the Soldiers had all opportunity to clear. They didn't clear, and they allowed Colleen to get in there and got a shot off.
And then the other part of it for me, which is puzzling, is there are numbers in the box. All you are seeing is the colors of the defensive team, and not a single offensive player there, and they're just standing around looking at each other. And it's Kalia. Kalia looks getting on the left foot, well defended. But realize Soldiers have gotten into the groove. Let's see. They are putting a very compact defensive shift in. They are fighting like we expected from them. We know they are a very strong defensive unit. But if you look now, this is my question mark. See how far Ionisha is from the danger player, Kalia Johnson. Right?
Absolutely well to be seen.
Right? So that the ball comes across. You realize what I just spoke about? The ball came across, and Johnson was free without Carty, the most important defender.
Well, indeed, you will suffer consequences. Fortunate for them, here is, That's a collision there, but no foul, says the referee, Wilson. Looking to clear, doesn't it? It is Hodge who picks it up. An intensive game here by these two teams. Here is Sims with the ball. Two players she have to contend with. It is Sims who wins it. Sims with the ball. Well, from a sporting family, both brothers play football, and she does as well. It is Wilson. Ball being taken away. Wilson still confronted by Sims, who gets it out of touch, and it's going to be a throw-in to the Stars. Superstars. Sims takes the throw. Hodge. Johnson, long searching ball for Carter, who finds the ball, shot and goal! It's a goal! In the 19th minute of play, what a wonderful play that was! It was Sims, then it was Carter, it was Johnson who found Carter on the far, on the left flank, and Carter getting into the box and finishing in style over the top of the keeper again. And in the 19th minute of play, it is the Shining Stars in beautiful sunshine here at the Raymond Gisha Technical Center, making it 2-0. It is Colleen. Go search a ball again. Carter! Oh, not wrapping her boot around this one. Off the side of the boot and going out of touch. And it's going to be a goal kick. In the 21st minute of play, it's the Superstars. The Superstars was really turned up to play here today. Call on to defend. Mercedes Hodge knocking it out of touch there. That's rather Lamaria Harrigan, sorry. Good header there by Carty. It's more play through to Edmid. Too heavy a touch there. Edmid couldn't control. Mercedes Hodge with the ball. Daniel Connor to Wilson. Wilson holds it up and finds Carty. Carty, one time pass. Oh, that's a good kick there. A good ball. Good pass. Oh, good defending there. It's still the Soldiers with the ball. It is still the Soldiers. It's been Nazar. It's been dispossessed now. It's Colleen. Long searching ball. And she's going to find her offside. She is going to be caught offside. Johnson. Collier Johnson. Guilty there of just going touch too early. 2-0. 2-0. And for those persons who are taking our commentaries and are interested in knowing what is going on over there in Grenada, the West Indies are in some trouble. They are 84 for 5 in over number 14. So the tides have been turned today. Here is another ball. This could be dangerous. This could be goal number 3. It is goal number 3 in the 23rd minute of play. The goalkeeper coming early, very tentative. And both the defender and the goalkeeper, they met outside the 18-yard box, had a conversation. In the meantime, between time, there was one who was not going to be a part of that conversation, and that was Watley. Watley was not going to be a part of that conversation, and she left both of them speaking and buried her ball into the back of the net.
Do you realize there has been a tactical switch on the field by Superstars?
Indeed. Edmead is now on the right flank. It is likewise
Watley has moved into the second striker position alongside Kalia, a position which he has played for Superstars for years. So it's interesting to see if Soldiers have even realized that adjustment and what would they do
to counter it. Or can they counter?
And remember, I've been saying to you all afternoon, for some reason, Carty is been defending more on the left-handed side. So a lot of time when that ball comes back into the center, as a senior defender, she's out of play. So it makes it very easy for any team to score goals. Look at it once again. You realize on which side she's in. Looking at the play, why it builds up. Realize where she is. If that ball comes across now,
she's gonna be beaten.
She's out of the play. If that ball is played from Johnson to Johnson, look at where Carty is. As the most senior defender, most times she's nowhere in the defensive frame of her team.
Well, and again, you see the absence of one player put your whole defensive team in problems, because Liverett will be playing on the left flank, and with the absence of she thinks now that she has to cover for Liverett even though she has a defender, but in the end she's caught wanting.
Yep. And it's critical for teams and players to understand that in every situation, you are a vital piece of your team. Teams build on chemistry, teams build on momentum. And for me today, the absence of those two players is speaking volumes. It's Johnson once again. Johnson takes on a man nicely with space, and he shoots. What a save by Davia! She's been keeping the score down. Brilliant save once again by Davia.
It is only Davia could have pulled off that save.
And you could realize she's very upset with her team, because Johnson has time and space to pick and dictate what corner she wants to take the shot off.
Because she took the ball, she turned, she looked up, she had all the time of the wall to turn, to look up. Space was given.
Look at it again. Look at another corner. 4 players in the box, marking nobody. A short corner is taken, and all sorts of trouble. All sorts of trouble. Just said to you, players go back, they sit in the goal area, marking space.
Well. How could you leave Brown open? Brown came across, she took the corner, she was solved the corner very quickly, and she landed it. But not even that, because there were so many Soldier players in the box. And all they were doing was crowding the box and putting pressure on the goalkeeper to find the ball.
And if you remember, that is the second time Superstars have taken that exact same corner kick for the afternoon.
Mercedes Hodge, too heavy a touch, loses out.
This means
Edmead. Corner for Little Soldiers, too heavy a touch, goes out of touch. It's going to be a throw. This means it's going to take it for the Soldiers. Colleen gives it to Kalia. Kalia to Colleen. Trouble here. Oh!
I would love you to look at the replay.
Well.
Cathy stepped up, and as she stepped up, they knocked the ball around her right into the vacant space where she should have been.
Well. That was quality.
It was a quality build-up.
Quality build-up.
But once again,
Cathy being caught out of place, and I'm hoping that the coach is looking at that so he can fix it for the second half. But that was quality.
Look at the space between the center backs.
Well.
It's could have easily been 4-0.
Could have easily been. It's 2-0.
And I'm trying to understand how is Colin getting so much time and space in the box, in the center of the field. So it's 3v2 and a heavy touch by young Harrigan. Cleared easily by veteran Shadow Richardson, better known as Shadi, to avoid any danger.
2-0 in the 29th minute of play. It's good football here. It's really good football that we've seen. We have seen the superstars really holding their own. They have being the team to beat. And to this point, it doesn't seem like Soldiers have the artillery to beat them. Here comes the dangerous Kalia. Here comes the dangerous Kalia! And magnificent save again by Davia. What a save!
Once again, she keeps them in the game. And all season long, Davia has been keeping her team in a lot of games. And I think it's time that the team just takes a grip in the midfield once again. If you look at what every ball played into the midfield is controlled by Blue. Easily, like, it's my house. Do what I want.
Well, foul call against Carter. Referee saying that you illegally, you won that ball illegally. I'm not going to accept that at all. And so it's going to be a free kick to the Soldiers. It's going to be Carter who's going to take it. And Nigel, the West Indies in some trouble over there in Grenada. They are 94 for 5 in the 15th over, requiring another 73 runs from 31 balls. Do you think they can get it?
Well, when you speak about West Indies and these limited overs games, they do one or two things. They raise your blood pressure or they leave you smiling. Which will it be this afternoon? Well,
we'll see. Andrew Fletcher is still there, scoring just about a run a ball. With 1-6 and 2-4 so far. With him is Jason Holder. And he's going at some 71.4. He will have to step it up. Here is Kalia. Kalia looks for Colleen. Can't pick her out. It is...
And I just think the experience of the Little Soldiers, the Superstars midfield, is getting the better of Little Soldiers this afternoon. And it's a break. Let's see what happens. 1v1.
Ben Nazar. Oh, Shadwa gets the better of it.
Smins looks to take on a man. And the ball deflected. And it's a throw to Little Soldiers.
Camille Gums. I love to see Gums play the ball. You know, she has a left foot that is, I love to see her kick the ball. You know, she takes the corners for her team. And when there is a this is going to be dangerous. This is, luckily for the Soldiers. The ball was touched.
And if you realize,
it came off.
Superstars is looking to take the corner quickly.
Does so. And trouble here. This could be trouble cleared by Carty.
Great clearance by Carty. And it's Camille Gums. Gums on the break. Touch looks a little long.
Heavy, yes.
Superstars looking to build from the back. Have you
seen the change again, Nigel? I'll tell you about that. Here comes... this one clears Carty, and it comes over to Smims. This could be trouble. Smims gets the ball to Johnson! In the 33rd minute of play. 3-0 in the 33rd minute of play. It is... Johnson, who finds herself finally on the score sheet, the leading goal scorer of this tournament. Johnson finds herself on the score sheet, 4-0.
The only reason why she hasn't been on the score sheet earlier, Millington, is because of one player, Davia Hodge. And it was only a matter of time that she would have figured out how to get one past Davia. And even then, Davia made an attempt to try to save that one, and it was just perfectly placed. But yes, I've seen the other tactical switch. Edmund has started the game and a striker and is now playing in the back three. And like I said earlier, the defensive, the center back pairing is not as tight, I would want to say, as it has been in previous games.
Here comes Watley again. Watley.
Looking to use a pace.
Watley finds Colleen.
Free.
Oh, this is a good touch there. Shot and goal, clear. Save. Davia saves again. Oh, follow-up shot there by Allen Isarge wide, but what a save there again by Davia.
What a save. And as I've been saying all afternoon, the score would have been 10.
It could have easily been 10
if Davia wasn't in the goal.
Could have easily been 10-0. In the 35th minute of play, it could have easily been 10 goals to 0. Wilson, gives it away. Watley gets it to Hodge. Hodge gives it back to Wilson. So, if you back the ball, it's Smims. Gets it to Edmund back to Smims. Too heavy a touch. Goes into touch for a throw-in. It is 4 goals to 0. 4 goals to 0. Should take it. Watley. Smims to Brong. Oh, look, long ball for Johnson. Carty. Out of place again. Here is Colleen. Colleen buries it. Buries it in the 36th minute of play. Colleen, off her left foot, buries it over the keeper. Point blank. And the keeper had no answer on that occasion. Again, defensive, poor.
And I'm trying to wonder, 5 goals down, 35 minutes in, why haven't an adjustment been made in that back line? And just from what I'm observing, the back line is playing too flat.
Yes, they are playing
very,
very
one
flat.
ball or taking on one player 1v1 beats the entire back line, especially
indeed.
the center backs, and there's no cover. So when a player takes on one, they
are free. Once the back line is beaten once, that's it. There is nobody that is sweeping in the back, and that is dangerous.
And if you look right now, look at it. The ball is in the midfield. Ball comes up, Carty clears, and not for a moment has the center back pairing dropped to cover in case something happened. Likewise, every time she steps up, nobody covers. So the fact that nobody covers,
it leaves a hole.
Superstars walk straight in.
Yes. It leaves a hole in the defense.
And it's like target practice on Davia Hodge this afternoon, but she's keeping them in the game. You could see the frustration on her face. You have seen her reactions on many of the plays. And at some point, they need to figure it out as to how to create that or to prevent that flow. Colleen, with space, she takes on one. Doesn't get past the other. Superstars. Lost the ball in the midfield. Brong wins it back. Brong takes on a man easily. Brong. Is that one of her trademark runs, Millie? Brong.
He sends it. Just too heavy.
Did you see where she played that ball?
Yes.
Exactly between your two center backs.
Yes.
The same thing we've just been speaking about. No one covers. Both of them are being beaten with one pass or one penetrating pass or dribble. And that is what is causing problems
And,
all
and, and
afternoon.
what they were fortunate in is that the ball was played a touch too heavy for Kalyan because they were beaten. They were comprehensively beaten. The ball split the defense, and fortunate for them was that the goalkeeper was right there. 5-0. 5-0.
Mainly body language says a lot.
Very well so. They look very flat here. Maybe the smallest player on the field, but she's very, very determined.
Yep.
Not gonna give up that easily at all. No, she doesn't give up very
And
easily.
something's about to happen, Millie. I'm looking at that ball being played, and it's about to beat, if it gets through, 5 Soldiers players. What did I just say to you?
Look at this.
Centre
Look at
back
this.
try to dribble out.
It's
Not
Carty.
disposed.
It is Kalia. Kalia. Oh, she could have let it off. Niger, she should have let it off
Yep.
because Watley was making that run, and she had the defense beaten. She had the defense beaten. Here
Colleen
is
again.
Colleen.
Time.
Colleen.
Space.
Colleen.
In.
Colleen. 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 Oh, save.
Carty steps up, sends her wide, and there's no one covering Carty. So every time Carty steps up as the defensive player,
There's nobody
there's
covering
no
her.
cover.
Yes. Well.
So should she be the first one stepping, or should you play?
And allow her to play last back. Yes.
So I think at this point in time in the game, you might have to consider playing her with two stoppers in front of her, and she plays as a last back.
Indeed. This is a dangerous ball. And cleared. But it's back to Kalia, dangerous Kalia, who gets it to Brong. Oh, good defensive work there. Oh, superb defensive work there by Connor. I told you, Nigel, she's like a pocket rocket.
But she's very tenacious. She fights.
Yes. She stood her ground there against Brong and against Kalia, and in the end, winning the ball.
As small as she is, she's a no-nonsense player.
Here is Alanis. Ball across, straight in the arms of Davia. Ball played across. It's Benaza who's looking to beat Edmead. The ball coming off the foot of Edmead and goes into touch. It's going to be a throw-in.
And I realize that Soldiers is fishing for something. They have made one adjustment so far we could see in the midfield. Smiley has gone to strike,
Yes.
and Benaza has moved to the left midfield. But for me, I'm pretty concerned about that centre back, the centre back pairing, in the sense of, and I'm going to say this, it's a centre back pairing I think that can work. But the communication and the coordination is what is what.
Lacking. There is trouble here.
See, you realize again.
But again, the tenacious Carty is there.
And it's a centre back pairing. I know. I'm not going to say I think. I will change it. I know could work. But the issue is that the communication and the coordination is off in terms of when one steps to pressure,
There's no cover.
There's no cover.
There's no cover.
And that's basic defensive principles we're speaking about. So, Brong, with time and space, Brong, safely into the arms of Davia. And it's interesting to see how much time will be added onto the clock.
We're into the 43rd minute of play. It is 5-0. 5-0. Who is going to step up to this one? It's going to be Carty. Who else? From the halfway line.
For me, Carty just needs to put that ball over the top, into the box. Player runs on. What did I say? Causing all sorts of...
And straight into the arms of the goalkeeper.
And I know that Gomes at that distance has a left foot on
If she had connected cleanly, it might have been something different. Corner.
Robbed off the ball.
She got past one, didn't get past two. Smins.
This is going to be a tussle here. This is going to be a tussle. She need to push her wider and wider. But
Let's keep her away from the goal.
And, she allows her to come in. Trouble. She fed it to her sister Colleen, and Colleen in the 44th minute of play beats Davia to her right, to her left, and scores.
You couldn't have asked for a better. That was given on a plate.
It was served on a platter.
Like a 5-course meal.
Ah, indeed.
Put it where you want.
But you know what is surprising? You know she had Kalia wide, and she allowed her to beat on the outside. She was in the first case. She was defending her on the wrong side. She needed to get her to get into on her left, push her wider, and have her play the ball back rather than looking to play it across into the box. She played it across, and the story was written. Ben Nazar looking to get around Smins. What? Can't beat Shanwa. Still soulless with the ball. Harrigan can't get around Brown. Gums.
To a Smiley.
This could be dangerous.
Breakaway.
This could be dangerous. And Proctor is going to take this
Touch is too heavy.
Too heavy a touch there.
A ball which she should have played with her left foot. She crossed the right foot over it. Heavier touch. Straight in on the Proctors. Now with the score at 6-0. Have you seen any time go up?
1 minute.
1 minute.
Here is Edmund, and that's a penalty. That is going to be a penalty. That must be a penalty. That has to be a penalty, and that must be a card. That must be a card. That must be a penalty.
He has pointed
to the spot.
Yeah, I'm looking to see how long before the medics is called on.
It should have been immediately. He didn't have to go and check her. She hit her head. We stayed here and we saw her head bouncing off the ground. Immediately, you had to call the medics. You didn't have to go and check.
I have a very interesting question for you, Millington. 6-0. What is the 1 minute of extra time for?
Well, good question. To allow things like that.
What is the 1 minute extra time for? A team is down 6-0.
It doesn't make a difference.
You have added 1 minute of extra time. And guess what happened 30-something seconds into that minute of extra time?
A foul, a penalty.
A foul and a penalty.
Not only a penalty, because the penalty is the least, but a foul that could have been even worse than it seemed to be.
Okay.
Losing a player, you could have lost a player for the rest of the season.
And not only that, you are in a position where a team is now possibly about to go down 7-0.
Wow. I want to see this matchup. It's Sprung against Davia. Experience. Steps up, sends it wide, go on. Cool, calm, and collective.
Now look at this. Penalty has scored. Penalty kick is taken.
Blows off the
Ball
game.
doesn't go back to the center and blows for the half. Why did we play a minute of extra time with the score at 6-0?
Wow.
What was the point?
Wow.
What have happened in the game or in the first half that warrant playing a single second over 45 minutes?
But because there were absolutely no, I can't remember there was any stoppages.
There was
no major stoppages.
But that is my point.
Exactly. Well, 1 minute was played, 7 goals to nil it is Brown who stepped up in the 45th minute of play and making it 7 goals to nil. The Soldiers.
I could understand the game being at 0-0, 1-0, 2-1, 3-2. But the game is at 6-0. 6-0. What is the point of playing that extra minute of extra time? Look what happened. A player could have been lost. And the game goes into the half. 7-0.
Well, only the referee will be able to explain to you why. But at the end of the break, we are going to be sending you back to Master Control. And we must tell you, it is a 45 minutes of play, 7 goals to nil. All the superstars. So until we come to you again, live from the Raymond Igisha Technical Center, we're handing you back to Master Control.
And we're back, and Superstars is on the attack very early, looking to get on the scoreboard. Johnson to Johnson. Flag is up. Flag is up. And within the first 20 seconds, Superstars looking to get on the scoreboard. Building nicely.
They were very fortunate, very lucky. I would say very lucky for the little soldiers that the flag went up.
I'm seeing something, and I have a question I would like to ask Millie. I mean, Gums is playing defensive mid. Yes or no?
Well, that way would appear so.
Why is she so far out? Look at that ball. Plays into the center. Where's the defensive midfielders?
Well, this is trouble here. I can tell you. Oh, the ball was played through, but Collier was caught off guard there. Colleen was asking, why didn't you make that run?
When I look down in the technical area, am I seeing correctly? Is not Ramisha warming up? So remember, I just asked you a question. Gums is playing defensive mid. And she's actually behind the ball. She's actually behind.
That is Wilson.
No, I'm saying.
That's Wilson that is playing defensive mid.
Defensive mid is played by Corner and Gums. The center of the field is being played by Corner, Gums, and Harrigan. Right? And I'm speaking, Gums is Camille. Right, Camille is playing defensive mid. Blue shoes. Right now, she's the one closest to Kalia. Right?
And she was clearly out of position because she was playing just behind the striker. And this is a loose ball. Trouble here. And cleared momentarily. But a shot coming in by Brown. Blocked. Colleen picks it up. Colleen gets around.
Takes a Wilson.
Colleen,
and it's Carty once again. As much as we mentioned Carty a lot in the first half, she's having a very solid game. I just feel that there comes a point in time where she needs to realize that in a game like this, I am the leader. How am I going to motivate and lead my troops? I am not going to be the first one to go. You have to go, I have your back. Because I need to stay on base. Because every time she leaves the center of the field,
she leaves that hole because nobody is covering.
Nobody's covering for her.
And this could be dangerous here. It's going to be Kalia who is setting up just outside the 18-yard area. And the wall is now being positioned by the referee.
Okay. Now look at this. Look at Alanis. Okay, she's now marked. Right?
My concern is Carter. My concern is definitely Carter coming in there.
My concern is Colleen. I am looking at the matchup. And that is something we have to be very mindful of. The most dangerous player on that play is Colin Johnson.
And then Carter should have taken it on.
That is my point.
Carter should have definitely taken it on.
Carty's marking Ed mid. How dangerous is Ed mid in that position? And those are the minor details we miss in games. So if Colin had scored a header right there at that point in time, the most dangerous player is Johnson. Who is on Johnson?
Here is an attack here.
That's good. Cleared by Kayla. And you realize it again. And I'm speaking about the center back position. Who presses? Who defends? Okay?
Here is Kalia. Kalia picks it up, gets around her player nicely, looks up for help, gets it into the middle for Alanis, and cut out by Carty.
You realize Carty is in the center and it's okay. The moment she's sucked out of the center, Problems.
Brong. Sit up.
Brong. Look in the chin side. Doesn't get past a man. Ball is playing. Gumsfield looks frustrated. Right? Now this I appreciate from Carty. She realized she was tight with her line. She made a few steps back so that she could see what is happening.
And the substitution is going to be made. Finally.
Very interesting substitution.
Wilson is coming off. And
Ramisha. It's Ramisha. It's Richardson.
Ramisha is not going to enter. I'm not sure. I want to know if she's 100% fit.
Wilson or Ramisha?
Ramisha.
So it's interesting to see. It's a straight sub. No tactical adjustments.
So Ramisha Richards. First touch on the
First
ball.
touch, good defensive play, win the ball. So the defensive line has been reinforced, and it's corner. Corner, looking the break. Plays the ball inside to Camille. Camille goes back to Carty. Carty plays long. And it's a breakaway. It's a dangerous ball. It means it's too fast. Wins it nicely, gets around to Ed Mead. Ed Mead. Get past corner. And I could tell you, in the first few seconds of just that one substitution, you have seen a different team. Remisha plays the ball long over, looking dangerous. Well defended by Carter. And Carter is going. Carter plays into Johnson. Johnson turns, looking to change. Goes way across field, cross to Edmund. Lovely ball. Edmund, acres of space. Crosses, back to Carter. Let's see what Carter does. Tries to play back to Johnson, but wins a corner. Now you have realized, Millie, I spoke heavily about body language. The inclusion of one player, you have seen a little spark. Imagine if that player was there from the start.
Well, I'm not sure why Richards did not start. She has been one of the persons that really has put the impetus in the game for the Soldiers. Look at Connor.
Heavy touch by Harrigan. Brong. Skipping past Harrigan. And it's corner. Smiley. Harrigan. Play ball, please. Long over.
Offside.
An offside is called.
Well, something I'm noticing, I'm not sure if you realize that Connor will not normally start. She comes on as the first substitute, and that will allow Ramisha and Wilson to start. Today it was Connor who got the nod over Ramisha.
But the thing is, Connor is playing a different position. I don't know if Richards came late or for whatever reason, but like I said, Soldiers is known for being a very solid defensive unit. They have options in terms of defensive players, because even number 8, Mac, as she's known by, could also play right or left back. Corner plays right or left back, but what Corner does is Corner is being physical. Corner is being very physical, and she takes down the next player.
But she didn't touch the player. And there is, if you notice that play, Connor did not touch the player. She got the ball, and the player walked on the ball. She did.
I am wondering
for the card could have only come for a dangerous play, not forgetting the player at all. She didn't take the player out.
Well, maybe they might have played an advantage on the first foul. There was a foul on Johnson. Advantage were played. She continued and she went into another play. And then
I would definitely like to see the replay on that one, Nigel, because from my point of view, where we are sitting here, it looked like she got all ball, and the player ball came on her outside of her boot, roll over the ball. Never looked like she got the play at all. But we could be wrong. We could definitely be wrong. The referee, who should be in a more advantageous position, said that was an illegal play and showed Connor the yellow card.
But what I've realized in the second half is Connor has brought the fight into the midfield.
Yes.
And I think that is something that was missing earlier in the game, and even being done, it's Colleen looking the break. And it's Camille. Skips nicely past a man. Holds on the ball. One touch too many.
But she had to hold the ball because she didn't have anybody to let it off.
But
because the player who she should have let the ball off to, she was right on the player, the defender. And so she could not, there was no space for her to see.
As much as I understand what you are saying, but on the center of the field, what is there behind the defense?
But had she played it over the defense, she would have played it, she would have had to...
Into space.
Into space to whom?
The player could have run on.
Well, it wasn't to be. It wasn't to be. I think it was... I love
the game has gotten a little chirpy.
Yes, it has. It has.
And
I like to see what is going on. You know, they are playing hard. No, I don't want to see dangerous play. I want to see the fight. And they're really bringing the fight to the
and despite they are down 7-0, not looking at the scoreboard, they have started to play a little physical, right? And you realize the tempo of the game has somewhat changed.
Yes.
Let's see what happens. Let's see respond. Because remember, at the end of the day, one team is up 7, one team is down 0. And what's important is how you compete.
Yes.
I think many times we focus on the scoreboard. As fans, as coaches, even as commentators. But it is also critical to look at the level of competitiveness out there. Is the team relaxed and just agree we have lost the game? Or are they fighting or trying to build and fix something for the next game? This game is gone.
It is.
3 points have gone. What can you take out of the second 45 minutes into your next game?
So there's going to be a substitution. It is going to be Edmund who is going to give way. And it's the number 33 in the person of
Rogers.
Shara Rogers, who makes her entry into the game.
And for me, what I'm looking for in the second half is how well soldiers compete.
Yes.
Because they can't come back from 7-0.
Well,
but there is something.
I'm not saying that they cannot come back. You know, football, just like cricket, is a game that it is not over until the last ball is kicked. And you know, as commentators, we have to be mindful, because if we say they cannot come back, there's no point of us, commentating. The game is done. No. The game is interesting. Well, they hold the advantage, does Superstar. And it looks improbable, but it's not impossible. The game goes on.
So, I could tell you my early observations in the first 15 minutes of the second half. The amount of time and space Superstars had to dictate the pace of the game in the first half has gone out the door.
Yes, it has been reduced.
Reduced significantly. Soldiers are playing them a lot closer.
Yes.
They are now putting a body. You are no longer going to pass or penetrate me for a pass without you feeling my presence. You're not going to penetrate me for a dribble without feeling my presence. And we are playing a contact sport.
And what is happening, and what has happened is that clearly, it has shown on the scoreboard, because we are now into the 61st minute of play and not one goal. We have had one shot on goal so far, but nothing else from the superstars.
So we have seen a different little soldiers in the second half.
Pretty much so.
And I'm curious as to if that little soldiers had come out of the locker room, what would the scoreline be like?
One would never know. It's Carter who controls it. Carter looks up. Well, coming up at prime time, it is going to be two of the big names. It is going to be the Gazelles. They will be taking on.
Gums looking to go long. No. In this play, why are three players committing forward? That one clearance by the keeper took out three of them.
Yes, one time.
But so you realize that soldiers are now are actually taking the fight. They are willing to compete. They are willing to fight. They are willing to place a body. Yes. Right? And for me now, it comes down to the referee to control the tempo of the game.
This is good ball. This is going to be good. I want to see this. Just too heavy.
No, it's play still on.
It's still with it. It is Harrigan. Oh, that's a foul.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
A foul.
Harrigan had a long touch and ran straight into the defensive player. The defensive player cleared the ball. But I'm saying, we are now seeing
there is going to be a substitution, and that is going to be the number 5, the 25. That is Mercedes Hodge.
So coming out is Smiley, and coming in is Juju. Junicia Romney, better known as Juju. So it's interesting to see the tactical adjustments. But in the past few games that Juju has come on, she has played in a central midfield role.
That is the role that she's going to be playing here today again.
So you realize how deep Kalia is now defending all the way back in her box. For the entire game, that's the first time she has to be so deep.
And she got the ball. She gives it to her sister, who tried to give it to Watley. A foul call. And it's going to go, yes.
Yes. So it's a foul against Watley. But I'm saying, all game long, it's the first time we have seen soldiers allow the dangerous Johnson to be all the way back into a defensive third defending.
Yes.
So that is a clear indication
of the pressure.
Of the change.
Yes.
In what has happened in the first half. So it's a completely different game. Some 20, not just, I wouldn't say 20, just about
18 minutes gone.
19 minutes. 19 minutes, soon to be 20 minutes in. And the score is still 7. So it's Carter. Looks to bring back onto her right foot. Plays inside to Johnson. Johnson looks for a 1-2 to Carter. Carter. Crosses straight into the hands of Hodge. And Hodge, nicely, veteran kick. Realize nicely served to Harrigan. Harrigan controls. Plays the ball only as far as Richardson. Clear Johnson. So you realize on that play, Cathy wasn't the first person applying pressure. And you looked at the difference. Johnson now had to make a decision.
Yes. And there's a player
down.
Shot and goal
wide. And there's a soldiers player down. It looks like Remisha.
She got the ball. She went. The cross was blocked and she could have been winded, just a bit winded on that occasion.
So it's 21 minutes into the second half, and it's a completely different game, right? And all that has happened in the second half is Soldiers have decided to compete.
Here is Colleen. Colleen splits the defense, and
Davia Hodge again.
Davia fumbled it, but kept it out, and it was cleared in the end, and it goes out of touch, and it is going to be a corner. But what a brilliant pass there by Colleen, splitting the defense to Kalia, but could not finish on that occasion.
Yep. But what for me is
ball served in headers.
And you realize we spoke about the number of gray shirts, the amount of gray shirts just in, and nobody marking nobody. We have seen a difference of that in the second half. And I'm saying, Gums, all the way cross field, plays to forward, or only as fast means.
Can you explain that play for me? Gums took the ball.
From the right side?
From the right side.
Straight across the field.
Straight across the field. Never looked to advance the ball. She had the whole midfield. It was cleared. And she had a pat down forward. She didn't go forward. She went across to the left-hand side of the field. And she lost the ball. Trouble here. Trouble. Davia.
Living dangerously.
Very dangerous because on that occasion, the defense called her and she didn't respond.
But she looked like she got hurt on the play.
Yes, on that play she seemed to have been knocked there. There's a tussle for the ball. Romney is going to be beaten by Carter. Carter with the ball. Down the left flank she goes. Carter looks for Kalia. Kalia gets
one to Carter.
A 1-2 touch there. It's going to be a fight here for the ball. Who's going to win it? It is never not going to be Carter.
So corner kick. Harrigan won it. Played it out of touch. Yep. And like I said, the only difference I have seen in this half is both teams, a team coming out that we have the game won, and the other one coming out that I am going to make your life a little bit difficult.
Yes.
I didn't apply pressure in the first half. I'm going to apply some pressure.
Pretty much,
I'm going to make you feel me in the second half.
Pretty much the game that we saw again, Superstars versus Diamond Queen. It was a 10-goal lead in the first half, and in the second half there was just a bit of shifting and players playing in position in the second half, and it was a totally different Diamond Queen team that we saw.
And truth be told, I'm seeing some similarities in this game and that same game that you are speaking about, and there might be a few lessons for coaches or for coaches on either side. You once again Superstars with a short corner, and hard once again Davia.
Again, allowing Colleen, with all the bodies in the box, allowing Colleen to turn.
But what
was good on that occasion was that Kati found herself right there and doing a good job there. But again, allowing Colleen to turn in the box.
But like I said, the space and time that Superstars had in the first half has been gone. If you realize, Soldiers are playing them a lot more closely. And we see it again. And it's like, what would happen? So we realize the amount of time and space the blue shirts had in the first half is gone.
7 goals to nil.
Ball is played over the top. Johnson.
Well, it's 8.
Well.
It's 8.
It's 8.
What an acute position to score that one. It seemed out of control, but Collier it is who made the trace, got the ball, and Davia has been beaten for the 8th time of the day.
But did you realize, once again, it's the second goal like this in the game today, where there has been a mix-up between Davia and Carty, and has ended in the back of the net.
Yes.
Davia is coming, and Carty runs straight into Davia, allowing the player to get wrong both and slot the ball in the back of the net. So my maths, 70th minute, so some 25 minutes.
71st minute of play, the goal was scored in the 71st minute of play. Took all
25 minutes in the second half. Johnson to Johnson. Harrigan clears. So we have seen a different Little Soldiers in the second half. Very different Little Soldiers. And it comes down to, what do we get from them for the next 19 minutes? Would it be a continued fight? Or would it be?
Will it go flat?
Would they go flat? Ball played over the top nicely.
Good defensive work. Very good defensive work.
Very good defensive work. But my concern now is communication between Davia and her defense.
Yes.
Because she looked caught in no man's land on that play. So it's corner kick to Superstars.
Good defensive
Good defensive work. It's the next second corner.
Bin Nazir.
So it's game has somewhat got quiet. Somewhat gone quiet. So there are 2 players on the box, on the post. If you realize there are 1, 2, 3, 4 Soldiers players in the box, marking nobody. Right?
One is holding the back post. One is on the arm of the goalkeeper. Who's Carty defending? Ball forward. Ben Nazar clear.
Only as far as Smins.
Handle. That's a handball. It's 8 goals to nil. 8 goals to nil.
8 goals to nil, Millington. It's been a very, very interesting afternoon. Tale of 2 halves, we say.
Of course.
Tale of 2 halves. 2 teams, different objectives, different missions. And for me, the adjustments were made, and we have seen a completely different Little Soldiers team in the second half.
Yes, indeed. Indeed.
So it's Colin. Ball played to Juju. Juju plays long. Go over Shadowa. Shadowa clears. Only as far as Juju. Now if you realize, in the second half, Soldiers have called Superstars, but it's Superstars on the break. Let's get through this break first. Superstars on the break. And a foul is called at the top of the box. I'm saying, in the second half, Shadow has had more defensive responsibility than the first half.
Indeed.
So it's Johnson.
Is she going to go to goal? She does wide.
Right.
And you could see Davia and Carter is not happy with what they have seen from the team defensively. But it's, like we said, it's a tale of two halves. A tale of two halves.
Smims. One by Gums.
Gums.
To make a run.
Let's see if she'll go alone.
She looked for Harrigan. Couldn't find her.
Couldn't find Harrigan.
Carter
gets wrong. Johnson gets it wrong. Alturo. Johnson. Harrigan comes. Harrigan is battling on in the second half.
Yes.
She was pretty flat in the first half, but I'm seeing a different Harrigan in the second half. Very different Harrigan, very different little soldiers.
Seem to be in some pain, some discomfort with that right knee. And
Johnson gets around. Johnson.
Oh! Over the top. Good shot coming in there. Good follow-up shot there by Hodge. Alanis Hodge.
Very good shot.
Over the top.
Very good work by Colin Johnson to get, even in a tight space, to squeeze that ball across. Beating both Carty and Hodge.
Yes, she did so. She came through. And the ball was just like an extension of her legs. Short corner taken again.
Once again. That's about the fifth time for the afternoon.
Caught out of space.
Carter. Only as far as Gums. Carter gains back possession. Plays it to Smins. Smins look to go wide. She turns back. Back to Shadower. Shadower looks to change play. Over to Richardson. Richardson looking to keep it wide. Forward to Brown. Into Johnson, but miscued. Cleared by Harrigan. Only as far as Carter. Carter back to Brown. Brown. Plays into Johnson. Johnson takes on Carter easily and try the shot.
It's a goal.
Oh my God.
It's a goal.
Miscleared by Richards.
And Rogers.
And Rogers latching on and just placing it past.
Rogers it is. Who makes it 9-0.
And a moment of rash defending. If we go back to that sequence of play, I expected a more senior level of defending from Carty. I felt she rushed into Johnson once again. Then Johnson going for the far post. Richards rushed to try clear the ball. And then what happened? Fumble, and Rogers, easy of goals, easy of tap-ins, shouldn't miss from that point.
Well, she shouldn't, and she didn't.
So, like what I expected from the time Richards came on, that she would have gone into the midfield. If you realize, she has gone into a midfield. Alturo has gone over to the left-hand side.
And
Connor has now come to right back.
Yes.
Remember, I said to you, it was interesting to me that it looked like a straight of substitution.
There is going to be a substitution here. It is going to be Shamel Hodge, who is going to
replace Brown.
The game. And Brown, clearly she looked injured, and that back seemed to be acting up on her.
Yep.
She's going to give way.
Once again, she has given a very good shift.
Yes.
80 minutes. Team already has the game secured in the back. 10 minutes to play. End of the first round. Your team is in front by goals, by points. No need to risk her going into the next round.
Exactly. Secure the game. Substitution made.
Secure your players. Because I could say that Brown, or the return of Brown, has been critical to what superstars have been able to do for the past 2 seasons. So in games like this, you secure Brown.
Yes.
You have 3 points. You have enough senior players out there who could carry you through.
Exactly. Indeed.
And it's Carter. Played into Shamel. Shomel using that body and that experience. But it's Richards. Richards winning the ball. Looking to play forward. Now you realize with Richards' presence in the midfield, how she can hold on to that ball and look to push that ball forward.
Yes.
And that was lacking for the first 80 minutes for Little Soldiers. That person in the center of the field to make those decisions is cornered, dispossessed by Johnson. But Johnson couldn't keep the ball in play. Soldiers had nobody in the first half who would hold on to that ball, dictate the pace of the game. And that is why players like Richards are critical to what Little Soldiers will do.
Exactly. Well,
Unless, for me, unless she's injured.
I'm not sure.
Or whatever is happening, she needs to be there because she's a critical piece. Not against your biggest, the league leaders.
Indeed. We saw there this evening that the absence of Richards early in the first half, in the entire first half, her absence meant 7 goals.
Even the absence of Leverett.
Yes. And Everett.
And it's, you have heard us said it multiple times. Players have to understand the value to the clubs and what the clubs are trying to achieve.
Yes.
And a level of accountability is important.
Indeed.
You are playing the league leaders, you need your best team out there.
With whatever means.
It's very, and I'm saying it with no apology, it's very difficult to go up against superstars without your best team.
Well, even with your best team, they are going to prove a handful. And so, with not playing your best team, you are asking for trouble.
You're asking for a lot.
Yes.
And for me, I love to see what I have seen in the second 45. It's interesting to me, if Soldiers came out with that attitude in the first 45, what would the score have been? So Colin. So it's a 4v3.
Well,
Ball is played over the top. Lovely ball to Johnson. Rogers is screaming on the back post. Johnson 1v1. Takes on Harrigan. Johnson. Carty comes across. Better defending by Carty on that play. She played for the long touch. It came in, won the ball, and distribute. Gets the team a chance to reset. On many plays this afternoon, I was missing. I wanted to see that level of seniorship from Carty. And it was missed. Richards. You see what I'm speaking about? Richards. Where was that player in the first half?
As you said, she probably showed up late. And so she was not at the party at all. She came to the party late. And you are seeing a different Little Soldiers in the midfield.
Johnson. 1v1. Plays off to her sister. And
goes wide.
Go wide. And who is down? Arturo is down. But I'm saying, you have seen a different Little Soldiers.
Completely different team. A completely different team. And that is just with the addition of Richards being added to the midfield, and she has really.
But I mean, it didn't just start with her playing in midfield. Remember, she started at left back.
Yes.
But her presence,
On the field.
you saw a different team.
Indeed, she brought an impetus to the team that they really were missing in the first half.
And then, late into the half, she has been asked to go into her usual playing position.
Be in the engine room of the team.
And you have seen a different team. And for me, and I will keep saying it,
as much as we tend to say players win games, coaches lose games. You know it is said in the sporting world.
Indeed.
But there has to be a level of accountability by players that you understand your role and your responsibility to your team, and that you are there giving your team 150%. And then, if after that, you could then look at the coach.
Indeed.
But I think too many players don't give their teams the best.
But you know, there is one thing, Nigel. Oftentimes we think that the coach is playing on the game, and so it doesn't matter what is being done at practice. When you show up to play, it is what is being done on a given day. And so from time to time, you will look at the videos, you will see how teams play, you will try to counter them, and then on the day, the team shows up and play how they feel like.
But you also sometimes have a situation where a coach prepares all week. He comes with a game plan, and on the night, players are late.
Indeed.
So the game plan has gone out the door.
Exactly. Indeed.
And then we sit up here in the commentary booth and we are looking at the team playing, and we are trying to figure out what is happening. But in truth and in fact, the difference between the amateur level and the professional level is very simple. A coach knows this team that he has in the professional level, so his game plan sticks. He prepares week in, week out for that.
Yes.
But in the amateur level, there are so many variables that a professional coach doesn't have to deal with.
Exactly. Exactly.
A player falls sick because he's at his home. A player gets into an accident. A player reaches late, misses pre-game protocol, because there is pre-game protocol and there is time to get everything done. And that happens. And the game plan is out the door.
Indeed. Indeed.
And
it's not to say, even in warm-ups, a player could get, in a professional setup, a player could get injured. But you know what? It's because you have a core of player that comes to training. That you are training daily, that regardless to what, everybody knows the game plan. Everybody knows.
So it's next man up.
So, exactly. So it is not very hard. So if Messi is not available for a game, then somebody's else.
And Superstars is on the break. Superstars is on the break. Ball goes across. And sorry for going back to the game, but it looked like it was going to be goal number 10. Still Superstars. Alanis Hodge. Richards clears the ball. And like we were saying, Millington, in the professional setup, you know your team. You know your roster. You know the 25 players available to you. In the amateur setup, you might have had 14 players at training all week.
Well, right here, there's going to be a corner and there's going to be a substitution. It is
Hodge
who is going to
give way.
And it's
actually going to be two double substitution, meaning.
Yes.
And for me, it is it Hodge for Hodge? So for
given way
to Renila.
Her number 28, that is Renila Webster.
Webster. Hodge for Webster.
And
the second substitution is
the number 26, who has made, and it's Watley. Watley has made way.
Okay.
And that is for her number 26 in the person of Super Sad, better known as Whitey.
So, merely like we've been saying, and it's just the last few minutes of play, corner kick to Superstars.
Well, indeed, it's a final minute of
final minute. We haven't seen how much time is added in this half.
You think we need any extra time? We will get about 2. We will get about 2 minutes.
What could happen in 2 minutes?
Well, more goals can score. Somebody can pick up an injury.
Time is up. Let's wait to see.
2 minutes.
You're a betting man.
2 minutes. So what could happen? Can get an injury, but I think 90 minutes, no need.
But we have spoken about it in the first half, and I will tell you where my observations have come from, Millington. I have looked at from is Johnson trying to get around corner. Johnson still here. Hodge, Sherman, shot goes wide. And I'm telling you where my concern and my question came from, Millington. I have looked at the last Gold Cup, which was 2019. I have looked at the World Cup qualifying. And I'm speaking about in the CONCACAF region, and when a team is down, and there's no way with scores like this, not a minute or second extra is played at the 45 and the 90. And that is where my argument is coming from. If at the highest level, it is seen fit that those adjustments are made, it should be made at our level.
Because nothing can happen, nothing positive can happen out of a 9-goal-0 lead at 90 minutes. Or at 45, 7 goals. Nothing positive can happen. Nothing beneficial or advantageous can happen to the team that is down. Somebody can pick up an injury uselessly.
But
somebody can pick up a card uselessly. Or salt is being rubbed in the wound that has been created before. We have had that 2 minutes.
We have had that 2 minutes.
And everybody is up. Davia takes it, reset, and whistle goes. Nine goals to nil, a completely different turnaround with only 2 minutes. 2 minutes scored, 2 goals scored in the second 45 minutes.
And it's like I said, it's a game of 2 halves. And Milling, it was my pleasure. It was my pleasure spending this afternoon with you. It was interesting actually calling this game. It's actually my first female game for the season. But what I have seen is a tale of 2 halves.
Indeed it was. Indeed it was. We saw in the first half where a superstar, they saw and took advantage of opportunities, of space being offered, and they took advantage of it. In the second half, we saw the little soldiers coming out, and they played a better football. They played a more compact sort of football in the early part of the second half. And it's Richards with the invention of Hodge on the playing surface. We saw clearly there was a different little soulless team. And then the shifts came. Not only that she was on the park, but she shifted on into the midfield, and we saw a completely different field. Well, Kale had a number of opportunities in the second half. She really didn't put all of her opportunities away. But then again, it was because of good defensive work done by the little
I'm taking nothing away from superstars. They are the league leaders for a reason. They have come into the league this year, being at full strength, looking like the fittest team. They also have the most players in the national setup. As a club, there's a reason why they play the way they play. And congratulations to them on a given day. But for you to be able to dethrone the best, you have to show up with your best.
Indeed.
And this is why I am lamenting so much on the fact of little soldiers showing up here to the short-handed. And you can see the addition of that one player into the setup, how the spirit of the team changed. And we have to understand our importance as players to our clubs.
Yes, indeed. And so we have to show up on time. We have to make sure that, what is being done on our part is the best that we can offer our team. And so today, ladies and gentlemen, before we take you back to the studio, we must tell you that we are going to be back with you in just a while. In just a while it is going to be the youngsters. They are now going through their warm-up drills. So too is
the Gazelles. And I could tell you it's a battle for second place. The battle for second place is on. Youngsters, Gazelles.
It is youngsters, Gazelle, and Shining Stars that are all battling for that second place. But today, so one of these teams is going to look to put their name in people's mouth, as you will say. And so it is going to be the youngsters and the Gazelle. They are going to be locked in battle in just about another 20 or so minutes here at the Raymond Igishaw Technical Center. After a few words from Linton, we are going to take you back to Master Control.
So it was a pleasure once again being with you this afternoon. Be back with us in the next 20 minutes for the second of our doubleheader. Exciting clash, prime time, Gazelles FC versus the Youngsters FC.